are plenty of them. On the way then, the latest on Benjamin Sesko. Are we getting closer to done deal time? Alexander Isak's future is far more uncertain. And Eddie Howe has banished the player from training with the first team at Newcastle and also the club barbecue. And the door is open for Jack Grealish to leave Manchester City, but are the right offers available? So much to get into. Let's get right to it. Benjamin Sesko then, Dharmesh. How close are United to getting him in?
It's getting closer. It's developing. Talks between Manchester United and RB Leipzig are advancing over the signing of Benjamin Sesko. No full agreement yet. That should be specified at this point. But discussions, we're told, are heading in a positive direction. Personal terms, not expected to be an issue for the player. Just a reminder of what United's offer is. It's an initial £65 million plus a further £8.9 million in performance-related add-ons. So it just comes short of £74 million. That's actually less than what Newcastle United's bid was. However, Manchester United is the preferred choice of Benjamin Sesko. Now, I think United have been pretty clever in the way they've approached this one, because they've seen Newcastle United going with one bid, which wasn't good enough for RB Leipzig. Then they've gone again, and they've gone again big. It was like a €90 million all-in bid that they put into RB Leipzig. United just sat back because what they wanted to do was to get an assurance from the player himself that he wanted to come to Manchester United before they made that bid. And that is effectively what has happened, because once we knew Manchester United had put that bid in of nearly £74 million all in, that was the signal that, right, something's gone on behind the scenes, that Benjamin Sesko has made it clear to Manchester United that he wants to go to that club. Because it would be no point Manchester United bidding against Newcastle United if they know the player is going to come. As far as Sesko himself is concerned, him and RB Leipzig have got a fantastic relationship. He doesn't want to rock the boat. He hasn't agitated for a move at all during this whole saga. But he has made it clear to them, Manchester United is my preferred destination. And then he's left it to them. If they can agree that deal with Manchester United, then he can go there. If they can't, then he will sit back and say, well, I'll stay at RB Leipzig, or see if Newcastle United is the destination for me after all.
It's a really Rob, why would he choose Manchester United over Newcastle United when Newcastle United have got Champions League football?
It doesn't make any sense on paper, does it? But I think what this emphasises is that Manchester United still have a huge pulling power when it comes to transfers. We've seen that already with Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo, both of whom Newcastle wanted to sign, and they missed out on Manchester United, even though they were prepared to match the deal financially. These players seem to be choosing the Theatre of Dreams at Old Trafford as a chosen destination. Look, I think you have to realise that Manchester United are a legacy club. There are a lot of people in football who don't like to admit it, but they're huge. They have an enormous worldwide following, probably second only to Real Madrid in terms of following worldwide. They have a massive commercial base. They can still afford these deals. They're a huge worldwide brand. And after what Sir Alex Ferguson achieved with Manchester United, everybody knows what they're capable of. They're almost a sleeping giant. And so I think a lot of these players that are at the level we're talking about with Benjamin Sesko here like the idea of trying to go there. From the people I'm speaking to in the transfer market on a daily basis, Ruben Amorim has a huge pull and a huge draw for these players as well. They like the way that he's very straight talking and honest. They like the way that he's improving Manchester United and dragging them up by their shoestrings, if you like, from a very low base. And they like the fact that they think that he makes players better on the coaching field and brings the best out of them. So I think you add all that together, and that's some way to go into to explain why Sesko and others are choosing Manchester United over Newcastle. On paper, it doesn't make any sense because I'm a huge fan of Eddie Howe. I think he's a brilliant tactician. Definitely gets the best out of his players. He's a brilliant man manager. They've got Champions League football. They finished 5th compared with Manchester United's 15th in the Premier League last season.
Got sensational midfield, which are going to set you up for goals.
And we know what the fan base is like at Newcastle United as well. They are absolutely emphatic behind their club. It's a one-town club, isn't it? A one-city club. And if you play well for Newcastle United, look at Alan Shearer, an absolute legend of those parts. We'll never have to buy a drink in the town ever again. You know, Benjamin Sesko probably isn't thinking like that. But to turn Newcastle down and put all your eggs in one basket for Man United is surprising, but understandable.
It's an ego thing as well. If you're a player.
With his agent, after talks on Tuesday, very, very positive, and then this morning, Wednesday morning, after being sent the final draft, they got the final green light, in paper also. So contract until June 2030 for Benjamin Sesko. My understanding is that at the moment there is no option to extend for further season, but let's see if maybe during the negotiations this could change, but at the moment no. So 5-year deal for Benjamin Sesko. Contract agreed, salary agreed, commission agreed, everything okay. Now Manchester United, while I'm recording this video, might change any moment, are negotiating with Red Bull Leipzig over the transfer fee. The bid was 75 plus 10, Newcastle bid was 90, 80 plus 10. Man United 85, because 75 plus 10, but I'm told that Manchester United are changing the structure of this bid. They are in direct contact with Red Bull Leipzig. As I always told you, Christopher Rivel was working on this deal because he knows Red Bull Group very well, but also Jason Wilcox being crucial once again in these conversations, in these negotiations, and he's also now taking care of the structure of the deal with Red Bull Leipzig. To change maybe the structure of the loans, to make it almost guaranteed, the transfer fee, the main part of the transfer fee for Red Bull Leipzig. So work in progress to reach agreement club to club and then to complete the transfer of Benjamin Sesko. But that feeling I told you over the recent days, last night and now, is very clear for Sesko heading to Manchester United. So the big signing for Man United is coming.
John Victor. Only one move left if Man United are to deny West Ham signing. Manchester United are expected to pursue the signing of a top goalkeeper before transfer deadline day. The performances of Andre Onana and Altay Bayındır last season have left Ruben Amorim with little choice but to consider upgrading his goalkeeping department. While hopes of United signing a new keeper had begun to fade, Fabrizio Romano offered some reassurance last weekend. The European transfer guru revealed that, in addition to a striker signing, plans were in place for Ineos to bring in both a midfielder and a shot stopper. Naturally, several goalkeepers have been linked with a move to Old Trafford. But Romano has also highlighted one name United may need to cross off their transfer wish list. John Victor to Man United is off. Only a last-minute hijack could save the deal. Romano reveals West Ham have reached a verbal agreement to sign John Victor from Botafogo, a player United had been strongly linked to. Tweet, EXCL. West Ham reach verbal agreement to sign John as new goalkeeper from Botafogo. €10 million package almost agreed with final details being sorted. John agreed terms and the deal is almost sealed. Documents being checked. And then, here we go. Ineos hijack hinted at. The People's Person relayed reports of a potential United hijack of this West Ham United Botafogo raid. It was claimed United were quietly monitoring the Victor situation behind the scenes, and were prepared to match the player's release clause if triggered. However, with no movement from United, while West Ham have been actively submitting bids and reached a verbal agreement, the writing appears to be on the wall. Yes, United are keen on a goalkeeper, but they may have had reservations about the 6 feet 5 inches 2024 Copa Libertadores winner. Perhaps the 29-year-old's Club World Cup heroics against Paris Saint-Germain were not enough to convince them to make a formal bid. Either way, United continue to be linked with some of Europe's finest keepers. PSG's Gianluigi Donnarumma is reportedly on their radar. Royal Antwerp's Sen Lammens is also widely reported to be under consideration. Either signing would represent a solid addition, providing ideal competition for Onana between the sticks. Man United prepare bid for Club World Cup standout from Brazil. Manchester United target Botafogo's John Victor as goalkeeper. Reshuffle looms. Reassessing priorities between the sticks. There is a pattern to every Manchester United rebuild: a flurry of intention, a flurry of confusion, and a goalkeeper. Under Erik ten Hag, it was Andre Onana. Under Ruben Amorim, it might be John Victor. According to Mayor Hora, United are set to formalise a bid for the 29-year-old Botafogo stopper, whose performances at the Club World Cup turned heads far beyond Rio de Janeiro. The report claims that United dispatched a representative to watch Victor at the tournament, where he helped guide Botafogo to a memorable victory over Paris Saint-Germain. Over the competition, He averaged 3.3 saves per game and was praised for his composure, positioning and leadership. These are the traits United seemed to value when they signed Onana last summer, only to see inconsistency unravel that equation. Now, Amorim appears to want pressure on Onana rather than a direct replacement. Altay Bayındır, United's current number 2, is expected to move on in search of regular minutes, particularly with international football looming. In that context, Victor's signing is less about revolution and more about reinforcement. But it's telling that reinforcement is deemed necessary. Brazilian pedigree and European aspirations. Victor is not a household name in Europe, but his CV is quietly impressive. After developing at Santos, he joined Botafogo in early 2024 and has been their standout performer since. He also had a brief but valuable stint in Spain with Real Valladolid, providing the kind of cultural fluency United staff appreciate in their modern recruitment. His strengths are classical. He is 6 feet 5 inches, excellent in the air and adept at instinctive, close-range stops. His temperament is another noted strength. Victor has always had the right mentality for top-level football, said Pedro Gutierrez, the player's agent. His dream has always been to play in the Premier League. If a deal progresses as expected, that ambition may soon become reality. United, according to the Brazilian outlet, are preparing to submit an official bid in the coming days. Onana remains, but uncertainty lingers. Onana, for now, remains the first choice. His erratic debut campaign, which saw brilliance punctuated by baffling errors, is a reflection of United's broader identity crisis. Amorim is expected to give him a clean slate, but not an easy ride. Competition is no longer optional. It is essential. John Victor would not arrive as a name to plaster across marketing banners. He would arrive to do a job, to provide calm where there has been chaos, and to ensure that the number 1 jersey is earned, not assumed. Bayındır's expected departure